Not to be confused with Candyman 1992, an artist becomes possessed by the Candyman and becomes the Candyman for a new generation. Could you beat the villain? Could I beat the Candyman, who is summoned when you say his name 5 times into a mirror? Yes, I could. For me, there's 2 obvious ways to beat this fella. Number 1, if it's just me versus the Candyman, I'm going to get some bug spray. He seems to be connected to the bees. Spray the bees. If the bees die, it's at least going to upset him, if not incapacitate him. If I've got a little time and I can call in a tag team partner, I'm going to call in Peter Pan. He has got form, dispatching, let's say, hook-handed men who hang around children. How would you improve this film? Anthony/Tony McCoy, I wasn't really sure, I can't remember. He's an artist, and his girlfriend Brianna, I think it was, she's an art gallery lady. And Tony, we don't really get to know him as a character. We know he goes to the gym, and we know he likes art. That's about it. His friends are mentioned, but we never see them. And we know he was a child from the first film, but apart from that, I couldn't tell you anything about him. Like, does he like pizza? Is he lactose intolerant? I'm not really sure. The change in perspectives is quite odd to me. So the first characters we meet are Troy and his boyfriend, but then they turn out to be side characters. And then the main character, Tony, you know, we're with him most of the film until he gets possessed by the Candyman, and then it swaps to Brianna's perspective. I feel like you've just got to pick one person, stay with them. Troy is going on about how Tony and Brianna's fancy looking apartment is rubbish. And I was thinking, that's very strange, because it's a nice looking place. It's got an upstairs, all sorts. But then you see where he lives, and, you know, his house is much, much nicer. So, fair enough. Troy is this, you know, spirit of vengeance called the Candyman. So the original guy was dunked in honey and then stung to death by bees or something. Surely he should be called the honey monster. And if you are going to lynch a guy, why would you chop off his hand and stick a hook in there? Because even if you don't expect him to come back as a spirit of vengeance, you're giving the guy that you are beating up a hook hand. He could possibly use that to, I don't know, hook you. Tony's mum makes the bare minimum effort to protect her child from this vengeance ghost. She doesn't even leave town, she just moves to a different neighbourhood. If you're not going to bother, don't bother at all, that's what I say. Those 1970s cops have got some amazing hearing. So they hear one child screaming in this entire neighbourhood, and they're able to pinpoint the source of that scream to a rough location. And then they appear to hear one sweet dropping onto a concrete floor or something over people running around, and again pinpoint that location. So amazing ears on all of them. My advice, if you are in a public bathroom and, you know, it appears someone's being murdered, don't go crawling around on the floor. Also, if you're designing public bathrooms, don't have it so that the stalls, someone can easily look under them. That's not related to vengeance ghosts. That's just, you know, personal decency. More on the public toilets. If you're in public toilets, don't draw on the mirror, even if it's with lipstick that can be wiped off, because that's someone's job to clean that, and they didn't need to do it, you bastard. So there's a guy in this film who, he hangs around the laundrette. He's actually the kid who dropped that sweet and, you know, the cops found him. Anyway, he says that Sherman, the guy that the cops found and beat up, was innocent. He just liked to, you know, hand out sweets to kids, and there weren't even, like, sweets with razor blades in them. I don't know, man. Like, was Sherman innocent? He seemed really suspicious to me, the way he kind of he threw a sweet to kind of attract the attention of a child. Nobody innocent does that. Helen Lyle, the main character from the first film, Tony goes to get her research. And he must have walked up the stairs, chatted to the receptionist lady, got the research, and then decided to go downstairs in a lift, because he was surprised by the mirrors in the lift. Is it just me, or do you take the lift up and then walk down? Tony is the baby from the original film, so he has had direct contact with the the like original Candyman, Daniel Robital, I think his name is. So why is it that when Tony is kind of hallucinating, he sees the Sherman Fields version of the Candyman, a guy he's only heard about in stories? I'm guessing it's because the actor, whatever his name is, Tony Todd or whatever, is really old and they didn't want him to be the scary ghost. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I understand at the end that Tony's like basically a ghost or something, but why were those bees making him levitate when they were holding onto his face and carrying him around? If he was in a big cloud of bees, I can understand that, but nah, weird. Rating out of 5 beers. I would give this 4 beers out of 5. It started out, you know, pretty strong. I thought it was going to be like more of a psychological thriller, but then, you know, the ending was not too good. I did like that they didn't even show the cop who, spoiler alert, shot Tony, because, you know, it's not about that cop, it's about all police. I'd quite like that, but yeah, the rest of the ending I didn't really like, so